Morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us at the Disability Services Staff webinar. Today's topic will be assistive technology. Before I pass the baton over to our Disability Advisory Committee President, Tuesday Sigmund, I'd like just to give you a couple announcements. First of all, I want to thank Laura Walker Andrews, Demetria Nickens, and Kate Moss. You guys did a fantastic job at the NC3 conference that was held this week. Way to go, and it's good representation of disability services. So you made us very proud there. In the chat box, I posted our Disability Academy. The link to that, if you haven't had an opportunity to take advantage of those resources and the information that's posted in that academy, please do so. That was created by our professionals in the field. So our directors and coordinators that represent our community colleges provided that information, so you know it's accurate. And also, if you are brand new to disability services, please take a minute to go into the main website. And if you can't find it, I will certainly provide that for you. But go into the directory. It is an ongoing link, or it's an ongoing update. And please add your information. And also, if somebody has left, please take them off of your college, so that we can have more of an accurate listing of who to contact out in the field. So before I pass it on, I do want to thank everybody for attending again, and also make sure that you are safe and have a wonderful but delicious, safe Thanksgiving holiday. If you have any questions, please post them in the chat box, and at the end of this session, Tuesday, and I will scan the questions and we'll address them at the very end of the presentation. So at this point, I'm going to pass it on to Tuesday. Take it away.
Good morning, everybody. We're so glad that you're here with us. I get the opportunity to introduce two lovely ladies this morning. April Teague works at Wilkes Community College, and she is their assistive technology specialist. And Renee Macemore, she is the director of disability inclusion and diversity at Wilkes as well. They are going to go through one of the modules in our Disability Academy. It's actually Module 8, and discuss some assistive technology resources. Trudy did mention, if you have questions, please post them in the chat. And if you don't mind, keep your videos off as the ladies are going through their presentation, and your microphones muted as well. I'm going to turn it over to you, April. Thank you again.
Well, thank you, Tuesday, for letting us be here today. Like Tuesday said, we want to go over our assistive technology resources and our processes for purchasing and loaning assistive technology equipment and books. And I think Renee is going to work the slides for us. Okay, all right, and our next slide, we're going to go on to it. Excellent. Okay, this is purchasing equipment. Now, this is our usual purchasing equipment process at WCC. As we all know, things are a little different this year. We maintain an inventory of the most needed or used equipment, such as voice recorders and LiveScribe pens, along with batteries, etc. We base our inventory off of average student usage. Our budgets are reviewed each year, and damaged or written off equipment is replaced in relation to student need. Most of our requests are for recording devices, but if an item is requested that WCC does not have an inventory, then we refer the student to outside agencies, and we also research the possibility of purchasing the item. So the next slide lists some of those outside agencies. I want to mention those. The first one is the North Carolina Assistive Technology Program, the NCATP, and it is an agency that can provide assistive technology. Their website, which we have provided here, also has other alternative financing programs for students to choose from. They endorse one of those, the Self-Help Credit Union, which can provide device financing through low interest loans. And I just want to quickly touch on some, I want to just touch on some of the qualifying requirements for these low interest loans in case you have someone who is interested in this. It includes a persons with any disability or their family members. They're eligible to apply for financing. State of North Carolina and Medicaid assistive technology restrictions do not apply. Rates and terms may vary depending on, of course, each individual's credit history, and applicants must visit a branch once the financing is approved. Again, their website is provided to find, your local branches and learn more about the program. And here's some information about the assistive technology loan process at Wilkes Community College. Once the accommodations and assistive technology needs have been determined, the student makes an appointment to receive equipment and training. Equipment is signed out, and before the end of the semester, a reminder letter is sent to the student to return the equipment. The letter reminds students that holds will be placed on their account if the equipment is not returned. The above info is all entered into our equipment tracking database. And this is just an example of the equipment sign-out sheet that we currently use. As you can see, the student is informed that they must return the equipment at the end of each semester, or a hold will be placed on the account. And if they are unable to return the equipment, they will have to pay the replacement costs in order for the hold to be lifted. Now, this is just another example. We wanted to show another school as well, and this is from Rowan Cabarrus Community College. This is the equipment sign-out sheet they have been using. As you can see, it's very similar, and that lists the item name, the replacement cost, and the responsibility of the student to return the equipment with a hold restriction placed if the equipment is not returned. Now, this is about our alternative textbook order process. Once accommodations determine that the student qualifies for textbooks in alternative formats such as electronic, we obtain the ISBN name of the book from the college bookstore or instructor. The proof of purchase from the student must be provided, and then we make appropriate contacts for the alternative text from sources such as accesstext.org. And once we receive this, the student's books are then put into OneDrive and shared with the student. Now, if the student requests, we will also put the books on a flash drive, which the student provides. Now, this is a list of some of our reading resources that we put in for everyone's information. These include resources for alternative and accessible textbooks and different links for reading assistant programs such as Snap and Read, Read and Write. And the following are slides, and we're going to have info on each one of these programs. Okay, our first one here is under reading resources, is for alternative textbooks. Now, this is information on Access Text Network. ATN is a great source. It's a free source for alternative textbooks. It's online, accessible, available anytime. Once the student is determined to be eligible, we use the ATN to request electronic files from their member publishers. Publishers then process the requests in the order in which they are received. The publisher's file is delivered in 3 days or 92% of the time, and personally I have found them to have a very quick response time. And the most common format provided by these publishers is an unlocked PDF. Another resource for accessible books is Bookshare. It's an ebook library available for individuals who have a qualifying reading or perceptual disability, a visual impairment, or physical disability that affects their ability to read printed works. Features of this include listened to books, follow along with highlighting, read in Braille or large font, access to nearly 1 million titles, can be read on a device of readers' choosing, read on computers, Chromebooks, tablets, smartphones, other assistive technology devices, and more. And it is free for qualified U.S. students and schools, and less than $1 a week for other members. They do have a very large selection, and it's a good place to find titles like novels requested in English classes. Now, these are, of course, two very well-known resources, Kurzweil and Read and Write. They are reading resources that both require a license to use. They are similar in some ways. They both offer text-to-speech, document conversion into MP3 files, spell checker, dictionary, word prediction, screen masking, the capability to unlock PDFs for editing. And like I said, they are two of the earlier, and I would say perhaps the most well-known programs, but there's a lot of other ones coming along, such as this next slide, which is Snap and Read. And this is the newest resource that we currently use at Wilkes. We just got this, and so far we've found it very easy to use, no downloads needed. It's cloud-based. Features include text-to-speech, screenshot reader, translation, PDF support, and it also allows educators to track student usage, which has been very helpful because we can go in and see who's using it, even how many words they've read through it. We love that. And I also want to say that it comes with a program called Co-Writer, which is an excellent composing program as well. It's also an easy-to-use app that students can download from the App Store when they download Snap and Read. Now we're just going to talk a little bit about communication resources. You know, what are augmentative and alternative communication, or AAC, devices? These are communication devices, systems, strategies, and tools that replace or support natural speech. Examples can range from an electronic book that's shown here to flashcards to interactive glasses like these really cool ones right here. These items may not generally be kept stocked at the college. We don't stock them, I'll be honest. So this next page shows a list of some of the many retail and program links for these items. All right, so some of these offer more specialized products, including Snap and Core First, which is a symbol-based communication app. It's intuitive symbol-based software. It's accessible through touch, eye gaze, and scanning, and it has built-in help, tips, and tools for support. There's also the Toby AAC products, which include software, apps, and devices, and GoTalk communication devices and apps. All right, and here's some other website resources like Proloquo2Go, iSpeak, and Zuvo. Proloquo2Go has a wonderful, easy-to-speak word there, works with symbol-based communication devices. iSpeak are those really cool glasses, the communication system used through the eyes, designed for people with extreme mobility and communication limitations caused by different types of illness and injury. It's a pair of glasses where the lenses display a virtual keyboard. A camera detects the position of the eyes, and the user controls the keys with their eye movement. And then we have Zuvo, which also produces various speech devices. Now we're going to talk about screen readers. So, a screen reader is a software program that enables a blind or visually impaired user to read the text that is displayed on the computer screen with either a speech synthesizer or a braille display. So I've got some listed here, as you can see, but we're going to the next slide. It's going to talk about each one of these a little more in depth. The first one is JAWS, or Job Access with Speech. Now, it is one of the first and most well-known screen readers. It was developed for computer users whose vision loss prevents them from seeing screen content or navigating with a mouse. It provides speech and braille output for the most popular computer applications, and it enables users to navigate the internet, write a document, read email, and create presentations. It does require a purchase, which is unlike this next one. The next slide is NVDA. Now, it is a free, open source, globally accessible screen reader from NV Access, which is actually a registered charity and software development company for the blind and vision impaired. Highlights of NVDA include support for Mozilla Firefox, Google Chrome, Microsoft Word, Excel, email, chat, music players. It has built-in speech synthesizer supporting over 50 languages. It reports textual formatting, such as font name, size, style, spelling errors. It has support for many refreshable braille displays. It has the ability to run entirely from a USB flash drive without need for installation. And it has a very helpful and involved user community. Now, I have personally used this from the recommendation of a coworker at Wilkes and a former student who was blind, and it works very well. So I would recommend that one personally. Now, some other screen readers, of course, are very good as well. They include Google Chrome Vox, which is free. Google Chrome Vox is a free, simple, and fast screen reader that comes pre-installed on Chromebooks, which a lot of our students use. It operates on both Chrome and Windows or Mac operating systems. It operates as an alternative screen reader for web content. It speaks the content of the page. It plays audio indicators for page load progress and objects on the page. It provides a way to navigate all web content from the keyboard. Apple VoiceOver, which is also free, is similar. It provides built-in technology for Mac users. Screen Reader describes what's happening on the screen. The hover text provides instant magnification, and the display accommodations support color blindness needs as well. A few other screen readers. One is Orca, which is free and Linux-based. It's free open source screen reader. It uses a various combination of speech synthesis and braille, provides access to applications, again, as Firefox, Thunderbird, the GNOME desktop. And then there's Natural Reader, which is also free. It has a text-to-speech reader, and you can upload text and documents or convert to MP3 to listen to anywhere at any time. So those are our screen readers, and now we're going to talk a little bit about writing resources. Okay, here are links to some of the most popular writing resources. Here again we have Read and Write and Kurzweil, which I went over earlier. And in our next slides, we'll talk a bit about Dragon and iWordQ. iWordQ is an easy-to-use text editing app, intelligent word prediction with elementary and secondary school levels, and I included that in case you have a need for that. It has a reading mode that automatically highlights text and phrases to keep students focused, and there's an adjustable pace of highlighting. Our next resource is Dragon Speech Recognition. Dragon is a software that allows the user to control their computer by voice. You talk, and your words appear on the screen. You say commands and your computer obeys. And they do say that Dragon is 3 times faster than typing and 99% accurate. The way it works with our students, because we do have it and we do use it occasionally, students come in and they set up their own profile by reading aloud so the program can recognize their voice. And actually, I think Dragon is a good resource for anyone who might just prefer to dictate their text. So, math resources. Now, this is a list of the math resources and their links. And on the next links, we'll go through each one of these 4 types. And the first one is Equatio. Now, that's a software that allows students to create equations, formulas, and more directly on their computer. You can type, handwrite, or dictate any expression, and Equatio will convert it to accurate digital math, which can be added into a Microsoft Word doc or G Suite, the Google apps. And features include an equation editor, a graph editor, handwriting recognition, and speech input. The next one is Graspable Math. It's a free overall math learning resource that allows students to experiment with tangible equations, engage in playful mathematical thinking, practice and explore safely with constant feedback. And the website has all kinds of tutorial videos on subjects including simplifying expressions, solving equations, derivations, and placeholders, as well as all kinds of other math things. And we have 2 more here. One is Math Type. It recognizes handwritten equations on a tablet or mobile device and changes them into perfectly formatted equations. It works with Canvas and Moodle. It's available for Google Docs and Word on iPad. And then, of course, we have the well-known Khan Academy with their famous videos. Khan Academy is a nonprofit learning resource featuring simplified math instruction. It has free online courses and lessons, and you can practice and learn at your own pace. Now, this slide is just some general resources that we've put together that we think are very helpful. The first one is the North Carolina Community Colleges System Office, which we heartily recommend. And then we have the Deaf and Hard of Hearing Mental Health and Substance Use Disorder Services, Adult Mental Health Services, Vocational Rehabilitation Services, also known as VR, and the Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities from the North Carolina Department of Health and Human Services. And we put these in because these are all very helpful and important resources. And if you just are really stuck and don't know where to turn, these are great places to go to just get started. We have a few more on the next slide. The Assistive, North Carolina Assistive Technology Program flyer, some information on that with that program, which is a great program. And then, of course, another great program, the VLC, the Virtual Learning Community from the North Carolina Community College System. I don't know if you guys have ever checked out any of these links, but if you ever have a spare moment, just go in. It's amazing what they offer, what's out there. All right, well, that is the end of our slide reading. I do hope that you found the information helpful. And one thing I want to say is things can change really quickly in the field of assistive technology. So anything can happen at any moment for something new, especially, in the technology field. So we love hearing from you guys because that helps us learn from your knowledge and processes. You may have worked with a student who had a need that we haven't and found something just really important and wonderful to share. And we're very excited about that, and we want to hear about it. So we really appreciate you letting us be here with you today. Thank you so much.
April, we do have We do have one question from the field. The question is, does anyone have a recommendation for a writing resource for students that Dragon cannot pick up their voice correctly?
I have a question, if you don't mind, about that. Do you mind sharing what is it like a vocal, a situation where they just can't speak well enough for it to be picked up? The reason I ask is we have had some situations with Dragon, but ours has mainly been perhaps the student was not skillful enough in reading what Dragon gives you to read to be able to calibrate your voice. We were able to work through it, but we did have some challenges with that.
Matthew, you can go ahead and unmute your computer and address April's question to you.
I'm not hearing Matthew. I don't know if maybe I just can't hear him. Matthew, if you will, you can reach out to me by email or anyone else here who, has information, and maybe I could get with you. Renee and I can put our heads together and then maybe send some information. Renee, are you good with that?
Yeah, I haven't found anything like stutter or sometimes our accents are really strong, and therefore sometimes it's just really hard for Dragon to pick that up. But like April said, sometimes it's just a calibration and training Dragon, and sometimes that training may take longer for it to recognize and start to realize what you're saying.
It took me a while. I'll say when I first was calibrated, it took a while for it to pick up some of my words, and we're just patient with it, because once you do get past that process, it works really well.
And April has put her contact information in the chat box for those that want to get further clarification. So are there any other questions? Here's a great opportunity to pick the brains of these experts that are working in the field. So please take a moment and try to come up with a question that you may have.
We'd also be interested in hearing of anything that you're using that works too.
Trudy, this is Dr. Morley.
Good morning, Maggie.
Oh, thank you, saying Maggie. People always push that doctor on me like that, so now I'm getting used to it. Question I'm having is, he asked for writing assistance. Did he ask for writing assistance because the student is unable to write, or because the student has a disability like dyslexia?
Matthew, can you address that? His question specifically says a student that Dragon cannot pick up their voice correctly. So Matthew, do you want to in your chat box add anything to that?
I have not found the chat box. Because for anything else, what I've been able to do is get students trained on Grammarly, because the new version of it also gives options for how you could rewrite a sentence and redo a sentence, and that has been very helpful for anybody with a disability in that area.
I think
Thank
that's
you.
an excellent point. Thank you for bringing up Grammarly. And I don't know if you've had a chance to work with Co-Writer. It's fairly new. I mean, it was new to us, but we think it has a lot of potential as well. So both of those are really good for if you're looking for that kind of writing help.
And they are way cheaper than Read and Write and Kurzweil.
Oh, yeah. Grammarly also has a free version so that you can actually try it out for free before you have to buy or want to buy. Sometimes the free version is enough for a student as well.
Yeah, we always encourage to look for more and more. You're getting a lot of free versions that, like you say, are enough for the student's need.
Are there any other questions out there? I do want to say that, and it has nothing to do with assistive technology, but while I have everybody on the line, please stay tuned to January for our next webinar. If there's any special requests, please send them my way or to Tuesday. And also, I just got notification this morning that we will be holding finally a webinar with Department of Public Instruction, myself, Michelle Lair, and two people from Department of Instruction on the College and Career Promise program. So that finally got approval. Sorry for such a 2-year delay on that one, but that will also take place sometime in January, date to be determined, but I'll send out links for that as well.
Yay, that is so exciting and so needed.
Yeah, I finally got notification this morning. So, and we will be attending the CEC conference, and that will be free for people. That's how we'll have access. So DPI and Disability Services will be in attendance for that meeting. So we'll make sure that happens. So it's been a long time coming. Well, if there's no other questions, I want to take this opportunity to thank April Teague and Renee Macemore from Wilkes Community College on providing us with assistive technology information. Please note that this is Module 8 in the Disability Academy. All those resources are there for you. Also, this session has been recorded, so we'll be sending out that link. But please do take advantage of the Disability Academy. There's wonderful resources and just forms that people need, or wonderful ideas. So we have that up there, and the link is posted, like I said. So have a great day. Have a wonderful holiday. Be safe. And I hope to see you guys in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Thank you, guys.